Hello YouTube, it's your boy Nathan coming to you to do another recap video. Today we are talking 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After Season 9 Episode 5. There's no place like home. So we're just going to get on into it. The first couple I want to talk is Darcy and Georgie. So as we all know, Darcy is going and Georgie are going to Bulgaria to meet with Georgie's family. And so, Darcy, Georgie's been really upset with Darcy because he doesn't feel like she's taking the trip seriously because, being in Bulgaria is a really conservative country and this, and that, and everything. So they arrive to Bulgaria and they go to this, hotel slash, chalet or whatever where they're going to be staying at, and they get checked in and stuff and everything, and the guy working at the front desk is like working by the room that they'll be staying at. And Darcy actually wanted to get a little get her groove on basically. And so she starts she tells Georgie to go outside the room. They first started kissing, and then Georgie was like, well, what if the guy is listening at the door? So Darcy told Georgie to go outside and take a look, and then as soon as he gets out, Darcy just starts like making weird noises and jumping on the bed like she was crazy and stuff and moaning and groaning. And I just thought, for a 50-year-old, she really acts like a 20-year-old. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, she acts like for someone who's 50 years old, she really acts like she's 20. So and then she goes talk about, we really needed this honeymoon. I don't think it's a honeymoon. So anyway, so after that, later they go to a restaurant and everything, and it was this restaurant was it looked pretty romantic. I had a fire pit on the table and stuff and everything. It looked really romantic. And they're just talking about preparing to be with Georgie's family, and topic came up about Georgie doesn't really talk about Darcy that much to his family, just very, very little. And somehow it got flipped to where Darcy feels like Georgie is ashamed of her and stuff. Georgie said that he doesn't call them about the problems because they have enough stuff to worry about, and everything. And for some reason, Darcy just took it as oh, I get it, you're just ashamed of me and everything. And then Georgie was just like, oh, well, I'm ashamed now with you acting like that. I'm just Georgie said, this is our business. They don't need to know our problems and stuff. That's between me and you. And I agree with them. You don't have to tell them every single little thing, every single argument and everything, to get them worried and stuff and everything. Especially with someone like Darcy, because they're just gonna be I don't know. So yeah, I just really don't understand how that conversation got flipped to her feeling like he's ashamed of her. No, he said that he doesn't want to tell people about his girl's problems, and I don't blame him. So it doesn't make me ashamed of you. Just, they don't need to know our problems. Hello. So yeah, I mean, that's all I'm going to say about that. I mean, Darcy just needs to chill. She really does. So that was Darcy and Georgie. Next couple I want to talk is Tiger Lily and Adnan. So, last week we went through the whole thing about Tiger Lily and being upset about Adnan's driving, and then we left off with the smoking thing. We've seen him now vaping, basically. And she's like, I thought you were going to stop and everything. He was like, I'm stressed. You make me stress and everything. And Tiger Lily is like, I don't want to be blamed for somebody else's problems and everything, blah, 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 and all that stuff. And then, they had a conversation, and Adnan said that I'll start to be more honest with you and tell you everything and not leave everything out and stuff and everything. So she's like, you promise? He's like, yes. So later, Tiger Lily and Adnan, they go and they finally meet with Tiger Lily's father and her stepmom. And this is the first time that Adnan is meeting her dad and stuff. And they go to this like really nice Texas barbecue restaurant, and Adnan is not adjusting to American barbecue that well. Obviously, since he's Muslim, he can't eat pork and everything. But he's trying to barbecue. He says like a lot of the American food has just got him really sick to his stomach, basically, and he's just having a hard time adjusting to it. So, they get the barbecue food, and then, the Tiger Lily's dad asked them about the religion and everything. And they talked about the Bible. And Adnan made a comment, said, about the Bible, who wrote it, and, he doesn't, agree with it, with so many versions of it. And, the stepmom had said, there's so many versions of the Bible, from the Old Testament and stuff and everything. And that, they made it to where other versions, so people can understand it better and everything, and, of course, in his religion, they have a Quran basically. And it was that conversation was very, for someone who's a Christian, man, I kind of cringed at that conversation because, I agree with the parents. I understand certain religions have their thing, but at the end of the day, for the believers, we serve only one God. And I'm not here to preach, but that's just how I look at it. I don't care if you're Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, Baptist, Christian, whatever. At the end of the day, we serve and worship one God. Just saying. So they had the conversation about that, and they didn't even ask them about the father had asked Adnan about the just being confident that nobody's going to look at your wife in an inappropriate way, because that's still my big issue with his thing, is that we had to have the male doctors leave. We had to have the shield build up so nobody can see her pregnant bare belly and stuff and everything. And I just think that I understand. I'm reading more into it, and it is more common in the Muslim culture that the male doctors have to be gone, and the female doctors only have to do things with that. But it's just when it comes to doctors and hospitals and stuff, I think all of that should go away. Now, I did read where, when it comes to, the doctors and stuff, there are exceptions, so it really depends on the person. But I just feel like when you're trying to save somebody's life, the last thing I'm thinking about is being inappropriate with somebody. Just saying. But I'll just leave it at that, because I'm not going to get into a big spiel about that. But the conversation about the Bible and the Old Testament and stuff, and what Adnan said and everything, it kind of made me a little cringy. So I'm just going to move on. So yeah, that was Tiger Lily and Adnan. Next couple I want to talk is Brandon and Julia. So after last week's craziness with Brandon's mother, Brandon and Julia meet up with their friends. They go to a beach and meet up with their friends, and one of the friends has a baby. And we all know that we need Julia to get a second opinion, to see if she can have kids or not. And so while they were at the beach with the friends, they were playing with the baby. Brandon actually held the baby, was playing with the baby, and because Brandon really wants to have a kid. And Julia was actually kind of stunned by that, because she said this is the first time she's ever seen Brandon hold a baby, basically. And she said that she actually got emotional, because she was just like, wow, okay, maybe I should go get a second opinion and everything. But she is so scared, because the doctors in Russia told her that she couldn't have kids. So after they went to the beach, we seen them go to a fertility doctor to finally go do the second opinion. So they go in, they do what they have to do and stuff and everything. And the doctor told her that there's some blockage there. We got to get a blood test and everything. You got to come back for the follow up appointment and everything. She said there was also some other little things that were in there. And Julia was just freaking out. She's like, this is why I didn't want to do this, because I may have more problem than what I originally thought. It's probably more of a problem than just not being able to conceive. Now it's like a bigger issue. So we'll have to follow up on that. I'm kind of curious to see how those results like fare with that, because I know like that's really, for somebody like Julia, that's going to be really, really tough to deal with and go through and everything. But, where there's a will, there's a way. I know plenty of people who were originally told that they weren't able to have kids, and they ended up having kids. So Julia, not all hope is lost. I had people who had like worse problems than possibly Julia have, and we're still able to have kids. So Julia, if you're watching, like, don't lose hope. You got this and everything. So yeah, that was Brittany and Julia. Yeah, this ain't gonna be a long video, guys, like last week, because this episode was just really, really like boring. But like I said, I like boring. I like boring because I don't need the fighting, all the fighting and all the cringiness all the time. So yeah. Moving on, the next couple I want to talk is Jovi and Yara. So Jovi and Yara, so as we all know, Jovi has that job where he's gone for 3 weeks and home for 3 weeks and gone for 3 weeks and home for 3 weeks. We seen Yara and her daughter Mila go pick him up at the airport, basically. And before they get in the car, Yara said that she has a surprise. Now, Yara started a business that's starting to bloom a little bit. She's starting like this like dog business and everything. And I guess it's going pretty well. And she's trying to get it going. When they picked up Jovi, Yara got out the car and said, wait, before you get in the car, I have a surprise to show you. And she's like, you promise me you won't get mad? He's like, no. And she revealed that they got like a little puppy and stuff. And they named her, what was the name? It wasn't Mila, Mina, or something like that. Mela, whatever. It started with the M. And so Jovi was a little shocked by it. Because, Jovi, like myself, is not much of a dog person and everything, doesn't want to take it out and clean it up and everything, and thinks that it'd be annoying at times, and she did it without consulting him, of course. Yara be doing that. I remember when we first met Jovi and Yara, when Jovi was gone for work and everything, Yara actually got in an apartment on her own. And didn't even show Jovi where it's at and everything. Jovi had like a home, leaving, he had a home and then coming home to a new home that he wasn't aware of. So Yara be doing those things like to adjust to herself while he's gone and stuff. But Yara says that, getting a puppy because, she said Mila's growing up and everything, and she's really not realizing that her dad is gone a lot and everything. But she says she doesn't want another kid because, for that reason, basically. So maybe a dog would help. So I understand, Yara getting a dog for this because maybe, other than Mila, when Jovi is gone, she has somebody to, something to keep her company with, basically. So they discussed that. So later we seen Yara meet up with Lauren and Lexi. It was just Lauren. We didn't have Alexi. Yara asked Lauren to be her professional photographer to take pictures of her and the new puppy, for her business and stuff. And Lauren did a terrible job. I was laughing. The pictures, she cut off her face. She didn't show the brand when she was taking pictures of the dog and stuff and everything. Lauren was just like, I'm not a professional. You should have hired a professional and everything. So after that, Yara and Lauren had a conversation about Alexi, and apparently, like Yara thinks Lauren and Alexi are a perfect couple, but yeah, they're far from perfect. Lauren's a lot to deal with. Alexi, he's not as aggressive like Andre and Adnan and all that, but he still has that mid Eastern European mentality a little bit, or well, Eastern European or Eastern man mentality a little bit. And I guess like Lauren said, I guess Alexi, like whenever she comes home from work and wants her to be like that stay-at-home mother type thing, wants her to be more feminine and stuff. And I'm like, what does he mean by that? Like more feminine? Like like she's a mother of three, and they're still like babies basically, and she's got to do the laundry, the cooking and cleaning, and wants her to be more feminine. Like Lauren is very feminine. Remember her little mommy makeover from last year? Forget that, Lexi. And so I really don't understand like what he really means by that she needs to be more feminine and stuff, but we'll find out more next week about that. I just thought it was an odd thing for Lauren to bring up. So, yeah, it was a little weird. So, but yeah, that was Jovi and Yara and Lauren, basically. And the last couple I want to talk is Gino and Jasmine. So, in this episode, we seen Gino meet up with his cousins, Dana and Michelle, basically. Dana and Michelle are, even though they're Gino's family, they are Team Jasmine. They're Team Jasmine, like, all the way through. They told Gina that Jasmine is regretting the open marriage. She's never said nothing negative about you. She misses you. She loves you. Yada, 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 and everything. And Gina told them about how that conversation in the parking lot went and how everything transpired. And they kind of manipulated Gina to say, well, I didn't give her a chance to fully explain herself. I was just so upset. And maybe we should have a conversation without the yelling and the screaming, basically. So Gina called up Jasmine, said he wants to meet with you without the yelling and the screaming. Meanwhile, we see Jasmine with Matt. They're getting their nails done, getting their feet done or whatever and everything. And Jasmine tells Matt that that Gino reached out to her. And now Matt is pissed. Matt's saying like, Jasmine, he's not going to change. Like, why do you keep going back to him? This, and that, and everything. And, Jasmine, well, that's my husband. I still love him. And, Matt's saying he ain't nothing and everything. Like, I'm here picking up all the pieces for you and everything. And, Jasmine, because remember, again, this is all before Jasmine. These scenes were filmed right before Jasmine got pregnant. And these scenes were filmed before the Last Resort tell-all where we revealed everything. So yeah, at that point, she really wasn't feeling Matt. And so she said that she is going to meet up with Gina to have this conversation and everything. Now, when Gino was talking to his cousins, Dana and Michelle, he told them about Natalie. And he said that like, I invited Natalie to Michigan and I want you guys to meet her. And Michelle was just like, well, that's going to be a little awkward because I'm still cool with Jasmine and stuff and everything. And so, but I'll meet her. So Gina and Jasmine actually decide to actually fully meet up. They meet up at this little restaurant bar or whatever. And at first they were smiling. I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe they'll have like a good conversation, basically. And, they started making little snarky jokes at first. And at first it was funny. And then, then they got into the serious talk. They talked about, Jasmine asked, what do you really want? Gina said that, I'm just surprised that you're still with Matt, with 4 months and stuff. I would have thought, maybe you would have gotten your own place by now. And when he said that, now I've been on Gino's side this whole time, but when he said that, it just really didn't make sense. Gino kicked her out. She ain't got no job. She ain't got no money. And if she does, very little. So how's she going to get an apartment, bro? Like, come on. Like, come on. Jasmine says, well, I stayed there because I was thinking that maybe you would call me and say I want to work on a relationship and we can come back home, basically. And he was just like, the fact that you're still like staying with Matt just makes me believe that you're in love with him and everything. And he asked her like, how much are y'all been intimate? And she wouldn't answer that, basically, which we know it's been a lot. So, and then he told her about the Vegas trip and everything. And Jasmine actually said something right for once. She was like, I'm doing this and you're allowed to go do whatever you want. And when I do it, I'm the terrible person. Yes and no. That was a good point, but Gina feels like you broke the rules. Like Jasmine has been like, the fact that Jasmine proposes open marriage and had already had a guy lined up. It had nothing to do with an open marriage. Like, she really wanted to be with Matt. Like, when people, because I've been through this, not an open marriage thing, but like I've been through like people who've been who talk so much about how great another guy is to their boyfriends and their husbands, and things don't work out. That's the person they're going to next and everything. So the fact that she had Matt lined up just made me believe that she really wanted to be with Matt. She keeps saying that she doesn't like him like that, and this, and that, and everything at this point. But that's just to cover herself. We know it's a lie and everything. So that's why Gino just feels like he can do whatever he wants right now, because he just feels like he just tapped out and everything. But he shouldn't be like saying things like, well, why didn't you get an apartment or anything? Like, dude, that didn't make no sense. That did not make no sense. So that just led to them just yelling and screaming, and Jasmine walked off. Now, judging by the previews of next week is going to be the episode I've been waiting for, when Natalie comes in and Jasmine like crashes this site and then pushes Natalie. I can't wait to see that. So I can't wait for next week's episode and recap, because that's going to be the scene of the season of Jasmine versus Natalie. So I can't wait. So yeah, that's basically it of this episode. We did not see Elizabeth and Andre or Kara and Guillermo in this episode. I feel like I'm missing a couple too, but we didn't see Alexi. We seen Lauren, but we didn't see Alexi. I think we'll see Alexi next week. But yeah. But anyway, guys, yeah, that is the end of my review. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're at 98 subscribers, so I just need 2 more of you guys to subscribe to my channel to get to 100. Just 2 more, guys. We could do it. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, please like and subscribe to my channel, and I'll be back on tomorrow to recap 90 Day Hunt for Love. So y'all stay safe and have a good one. Bye, y'all.